Okay, hello Cloud Gurus. How y'all doing? I'm Scott Pletcher and welcome to my cozy underground bunker, from which I bring you only the tastiest morsels in recent AWS news. This week, Outposts gets a new supported service. We can now roll our own prefix lists. We get a new tool to help us containerize host-bound apps. And of course, we announce the Guru of the Week. Plus, we have a special guest reporter bringing us an update from the AWS Community Day recently held in Australia and New Zealand. Welcome to AWS This Week. When AWS announced Outposts back in 2018, some people were confused as to why a cloud provider would get into the market of on-prem rack-based infrastructure. I mean, after all, doesn't AWS want customers to migrate all the things to the cloud? Well, AWS knows very well that there are perfectly good reasons why the cloud is not appropriate for everything. And so, using the can't beat 'em, join 'em strategy, Outpost allows companies to plant their very own little patch of fully managed AWS goodness right in their own data centers. Last week, AWS announced that we can now deploy MySQL and Postgres RDS databases onto Outpost infrastructures. RDS joins an ever-increasing number of services including EC2, EBS, ECS, EKS, and EMR that are already able to be deployed on Outpost. And rumor has it that S3 is just around the corner. Well, containerization is all the rage nowadays, and for good reason. The promise of portability, efficiency, and compartmentalization is hard to ignore, especially when it comes to increasing the pace of development and deployment. AWS recently released a nifty tool to help out all those .NET and Java applications find new life inside a container. The CLI utility App2Container was recently announced in an effort to help extricate all the parts and pieces needed to run those host-bound .NET and Java applications, and gently lay them into their own little container. The tool analyzes all the existing runtimes and dependencies, then builds a container image, configures network ports, and generates the ECS task and the Kubernetes pod definitions. It will even provision the required infrastructure and CI/CD pipelines to get you deployed into production in no time. Good news for all you network administrators out there, VPCs now support custom managed prefix lists. Prefix lists are really just lists of IP address ranges, better known as either CEDAR or CIDR blocks depending on your personal allegiance. Prefix lists have been around for a while, being used for VPC endpoint gateways of S3 and Dynamo. In that use case, they are used by the VPC router to redirect traffic via IP address through AWS's private network, rather than out to the public internet endpoints for those two services. With this announcement, customers can define their own set of prefix lists to represent segments of their enterprise networks. So rather than having to define each network in every route table and security group, we can now just plug these prefix lists in, saving lots of time and tedious management. Well, this week we have a special guest reporter coming to us from the lovely land down under, our very own Dr. Pete Sparsky. Dr. Pete was one of the hosts and organizers of the Australian and New Zealand AWS Community Days, which were held on July 6th and 7th. Dr. Pete, what is new and noteworthy from the Community Days?
Scott, thank you so much. Indeed, last week was the AWS Community Day for Australia and New Zealand. I was lucky enough to help organize the event together with my fellow Aussie community heroes, Gus Nalvan from Melbourne and Nathan Glover from Perth. Our Community Day went for 2 days and we had 2 tracks full of wonderful talks. All talks have now been uploaded to YouTube, so you can check them out in your own time. I want to highlight our keynote speakers. On Monday, we had Jeff Barr, who is the AWS Chief Evangelist, a pretty, household name for us. He answered a lot of questions from Reddit and from us. So that was interesting and unexpected. Thank you, Jeff, for your time. And on Tuesday, we had a presentation, a keynote from Adrian Hornsby, who is an AWS Principal Developer Advocate, and he did a talk on the 10 things he learned while working for AWS for 12 years. Another super interesting keynote. Go and have a look. Apart from, of course, our keynote speakers, we had wonderful presentations from Aussie and overseas practitioners that ranged from everything, including machine learning and AI, serverless databases. DynamoDB seems to be a pretty popular subject these days, creating durable workflows, and even genome analysis using cloud computing. So very cool stuff. Our very own Ned Jamison did a talk on the state of serverless, and I did a talk on building a parallelized video encoder using step functions, EFS, and Lambda. All in all, we had an excellent couple of days full of interesting talks. I learned heaps. And I want to thank everybody who helped organize the Community Day, including Kim, Hillary, and John from AWS, and my fellow AWS heroes. That's it from me. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pete, for the update. You are welcome here anytime. So hear ye, the hour is upon us. It's Guru of the Week time. This week's winner won us over by the personality and humor they included in their answer. Plus, this person might just have the most epic name ever in the history of Guru of the Week. Congratulations go to Jex Grizzle, an international man of mystery that claims to be residing in North Las Vegas. Well, Mr. Grizzle, a swag pack is on its way to you as we speak, and presuming reInvent is still faux shizzle, you have been entered into a draw for a free ticket to that shindig. That, my friends, is all the AWS news that's fit to print this week. Stay safe, take care of one another, and keep being awesome cloud gurus.